Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity Ezel by Carpe Vanguard, Ezel the Vanity weekly review. So pick a road of tech, comes grab us, shall we? This time we are covering the new token rainbow cards along with the technical actual end of set 11. So let's go and get the start, shall we? First up, we have the final card in set 11, which is Swan Lake Odeli. Grade 1 boost 5k shield 8k base, auto rear guard when this unit is placed on grade. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater unit, if your opponent's Vanguard is also a grade 3 or greater, you can soul bounce one until the battle and this unit up to 10k power. All around pretty solid, it's an 18k booster. Really weird that this is the very last card they choose to reveal for all of set 11, but you know, Dolly's going to be that really powerful, meta-breaking card that we all know and love, so obviously pick up your 4 copies of Dolly before she becomes $500. We can all tell I'm joking, but we all know this might actually come true at some point in the future. I can't wait for that to be the case, where I was screwing around with that, and it's going to be actually true at some point. And then we have a bunch of token rainbow cards I don't understand. Here goes me trying to explain all these. First up, we have Shugoyo Dogu, grade 3 set order. Set order, you can only have up to 5 cards in your ride deck, including this card, a unit card with Kiyomi's card name, and a unit card each between grades between 0 and 2, and this card is put face up instead. Okay, so we took the one thing unique about Griffo Seed and immediately threw it into this. Auto ride deck, when you stand up, put this card into your order zone, choose a unit card without Kiyomi's card name from your ride deck, put it to your order zone face up, and it becomes in training, and then continues order zone. Your Vanguard loses all of its auto and act abilities, so your Vanguard just becomes the things from the, fucking, what was the thing called? The deck from Stoicheia, the crossover one, Mushi King. And like today's order zone, you cannot normal ride from your hand, and when you would ride from your ride deck, you can ride without discarding. Again, I say, taking the one thing that made Griffle Seed unique and immediately just doing this with it. And then act order zone, if your ride deck has 0 cards and you did not ride this turn, put an in training from your order zone into your soul, search your deck or hand for up to 1 card, the same card name as the card, put it to your soul for this cost, but with Kiyomi and its card name. Ride it as stand, and if you search your deck, you shuffle it, and if you road, you put this card into your soul, and you get a crest based on the rest of your Vanguard. I cannot explain half of that because, frankly, my mind loses sentience once we get past this point because I just can't pay enough attention to read the rest of that. More or less, what that means is free ride deck. Your Vanguard is basically a vanilla for the next few bits of the game, and then when you get to grade 3 and you get to the point where you can't ride, you just use this as superior ride and get a free crest. Well, you ask about those crests. Well, we have 5 of them, so let's go ahead and go through all of them, shall we? First up, we have Uchigatana ability Kiyomi Crest. So continuous, you cannot ride a unit card with a different name from your Vanguard. Continuous, all cards with the same card name as your Vanguard become units with grade 3 power, 13k 1000, 1 critical, twin drive, persona right in the following abilities. Auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks, counter boss 1, choose one of your rear guards, stand it, and this unit gets plus 10k power to end of battle. And then Auto Vanguard, once per turn, when your rear guard is attacked, soul boss 1 until end of battle. All your rear guards cannot be hit until they get hit. So pretty much they all share this set of ability, and then the rest of it's kind of based on what the main grade 3 actually does. I wish I could tell you what half of them do. I only remember what one of them do, and we'll get to that one when we get there. But in terms of what their original grade 3s did, but still, being able to get a rear guard standards for some costly counter boss is really nice, and ultimately to the fact your Vanguard finally has its skills again, so that's also nice as well. And then being able to basically protect your rear guards guaranteed is also really nice. So that's a big FU to Vermilion who just came out. So cool, nice crest for Uchigatana. Is that the one that gave 5k to the full board? I think that might be him, the gold suited one that gave 5k to the whole board. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is. And then Tanto ability Kiyomi Crest. No, that's not the one that reminded me of Kagura, the one that retires. I know that's not him. I don't remember what Tanto is. Continuous, I'm not gonna bother reading this, but we all know this. They all share that effect. And then the unique effects of this one is Auto Vanguard when this unit attacks. Counter boss 1 to end of battle. Your opponent cannot call grade 1s or greaters from hand to guard circle, and then continues rear guard or continues Vanguard during your opponent's main phase. All of your rear guards cannot be chosen by opponent's card effects. So this is actually an FU to the nuke one I was just thinking about, and this is an FU to all nuke decks because your opponent can't touch your stuff now. So granted, Vermilion kills it, but they can't touch your rear guards during the main phase. And then also being able to nullify grade 1 or graders in the guard circle is pretty nice as well because it just nullifies PGs. So cool crest. Then we have Wakaishiashi ability Kiyomi Crest. So I butchered the hell out of the name, standard 2 abilities, and then Auto Vanguard at the start of your battle phase. All your rear guards get plus 5k power for the turn. Why Kizashi the one that gave... So was that the one that gave 5k to full board? Because I swear it was Uchigatana, but I honestly don't remember at this point. I know one of the original grade 3s gave 5k to full board, I just don't remember who it was. And then Auto Vanguard once per turn when this unit is attacked by counterbossing when you reveal the top card of your deck and add it to your hand, and then this unit gets the power equal to the revealed card's original shield ton of battle. Okay, so here's the broken part about this. No matter what it is, it goes to hand. So if it's a PG, while granted you get 0 shield, you get a PG to hand, which you can then just play. Or if it's a 20k shield, like say for example, actually no, there's no 20k shields in this game. If there's a heal trigger, so it's a 15k shield, you get the 5k from the heal, and then you can just throw down the heal trigger if you're not playing effect heals. All around, very solid crest for defensive, and it has a very powerful battle phase skill, so probably my favorite going into this. Then we have Oltachi ability crest. I don't remember who that is either. Standard 2 abilities, and then auto vanguard. This unit attacks, it gets plus 10k power for the battle. Then by counter blasting 1, choose one of your grade 3 rear guards and stand it. So a worse version of this one? Because, yeah, they do the exact same thing, but this one only specifically picks a grade 3 rear guard. So, take that as you will. And then auto vanguard, when this unit attack hits a vanguard, by discarding the top card of your deck and you discard a trigger, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and deal damage. Okay. That makes up for the stand. Yes, it has to hit, but if it hits, for whatever ungodly reason that may be, if you mill a trigger, it can deal a damage, and it's one of the few cards, if not the only card to my memory, that can deal a damage to your opponent's vanguard regardless of what damage they're at. So basically, if your opponent is dumb enough to let this hit while they're at 4, and they go to 5, bop damage. Honest to God, just run a bunch of fronts and crits just so you don't risk triggers. Actually, no matter what in this deck, if your opponent doesn't immediately PG and they like 2 to pass it, or like they basically put it to where you could break through it if you see all triggers, just gamble it on the Vanguard because it's a possible 2 free damage. So Otachi ability Kawami Crest. This ability is worse than this one's, but this is essentially your opponent always has to PG it or no pass it. Otherwise, there's a chance they're risking 2 to 3 damage. So take that as you will. Then we finally are off from the crest. Oh, there's only 4 of them. First up, we have Shino Todoshui Kame. At the end of this, I'm going to butcher so many names. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard. I also put the types up here because those are kind of important to like the unit's abilities. Anyways, auto rear guard, this unit attack hits a vanguard by counterblasting 1 and put this unit to soul. Draw a card and choose one of your opponent's rear guards, kill it. Cool. Put this behind the circle that doesn't have this one on it, and you can immediately do a free bop damage and draw a card. Or not bop damage, kill a rear guard. So all-around solid skill. I like this grade 1 a lot. Gets rid of rear guards, gets a draw, and it gets you soul as well. The only downside is it costs counterbots, but it's fine the way it is. So easy 3 of at least for me. Then we have Monoyoshi Sarame Kiwame. I felt like I said all of that wrong, but grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I gotta say, I love that pink hair. It reminds me of what was his name? Heath Moore. I really wish I wasn't blanking on his Japanese name right now. But the guy from Inazuma 11 that has pink hair. Why am I blanking on his name? I swear I used to know his Japanese name like inside and out, and I can't think of it. Anyways. Continues rear guard to guard circle. Shinken Hisatsu, aka active if you have 3 or more damage in your damage zone, so basically limit break for 3. This unit gets intercept and 5k shield and can intercept from back row. I swear we have this card in the OG, or maybe like we had a worse version of it. But either way, 10k shield with intercept from back row. Nice to have, very welcome addition. And again, he reminds me of one of my favorite characters from Inazuma 11. So if I ever did pick up Tokyo Rambo, I'm probably going to show this thing as a 4 just for the sake of memes. So cool. Nice grade 1. Then we have Nagosone Gosetsu Kiwame. Grade 2 is a 5k shield, 10k base. His outfit looks so clean. Like this is an actual person's outfit, and then like the rest of him just looks meh. But his face looks like he's like a kabuki actor that would go, yo! If any of you know what I'm referring to, good for you. Anyways, continues rear guard. This unit gets plus 10k power, and then also active during both players' turn. That is stupid, just for a free 20. And then continues rear guard. If you did not attack a total of 3 or more times this turn, it cannot attack. So it can't be the 3rd attack either. So basically, you have to play one of the 2 multi-attacking orders unless the Vanguard inherently has a multi-attack ability. Great. Still a solid grade 2. It's an easy 20k beat stick without triggers or boosts or anything like that. And again, it's a 20k base during both players' turns, so what's not to like about it? 2 of because it could be a brick, or if you really are confident that you're going to get a restand off, 3 of. And then we have Hotarau Maru Kiwame. Grade 3 jumper start 30k base. I have to do double take on this thing because I originally thought it was a Vanguard, but apparently it's a rear guard. Auto rear guard once per turn when it attacks hits a grade 3 grade Vanguard. Combos when arrest a rear guard to stand this unit. Don't know why that's a once per turn. They act like that's going to be broken anytime soon. I guess their worst fear is people spamming it with this, but even then, like, I don't know, all you have to do is see one trigger or block it once, and this immediately just stops standing, and you have to rest things to do with skills, so I guess they just chose, let's not do the infinite attack loop. But then auto rear guard when this unit stands during your battle phase, it gets plus 5k power. That answers that question, and then if you have an Otachi ability crest, it gets a 10k instead of 5k. And that answers the question of why it's not an infinite restand, because if you did, what was it, Otachi, right? So it was this one. Oh yeah, it is this one. Yep, I was right. I was right. It is this one they would abuse it with. So, yep, just infinite restand with power. Yeah, but she doesn't want that happening. So, fair enough, fair enough. That would actually be very stupidly broken. So, I'm fine with accepting defeat on that one. It's still a nice 4 of, but yeah, I can see why it's not an infinite attacker now. And then we have Kashu Kiyomitsu Kiwame Sento. Mouthful. Wasn't that the main grade 3 of the trial deck? I think it was. Grade 3 time percent 3k base. Either way, I love this art. I especially love his armor here. Continues Vanguard or Rear Guard. It's also treated as Kashu Kiyomitsu Kiwame. And then Auto Vanguard. Once per turn, if you Persona Robe this turn, its abilities cost may also be paid by Counter Boss 1. At the end of the battle, it attacked anything, discard a card from your hand, or again, if you Persona Robe Counter Boss 1, and put a card with the same card name as the card from your Rear Guard circle or hand into your soul. Okay. And then stand this unit until end of turn, increase or decrease its critical or drive to 1, and then if you have 2 more Kashu Kiyomitsu named Kari 3s in your soul, until end of turn this unit gets the following ability, which is Auto Vanguard. Once per turn at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. By counterbossing one, you can stand this unit and lose the drive. So, technically speaking, you can get 3 Vanguard swings with a total of 3 drive checks. And all for technically the simple cost of 2 CB or possibly even a CB and a ditch and a handcard soul. So there's that. Either way though, pretty solid ability. Gets the restand at least once, possibly even gets it twice. All around very solid. I like his skill a lot. I think it's just great. So this is how you upgrade a restander, folks. You just give them the ability to restand more. That's all I can say about it. Then we have Yamatono Kami Yasuda Kiwame. Every time I say any of these names, I feel like I'm offending an entire culture. Grade Jones at 5k shield, 10k base. Auto is placed on rear guard circle by counterbosting one of the top 7 cards of your deck to 1 Katsu Kiyomitsu, grade 3 or greater card from one of them, reveal and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. And if you do not reveal a card, choose a Kashu Kiyomitsu unit card from your drop zone, add it to hand. Cool to either fetch a persona from the top 7 or just fetch a persona from drop. And then continues rear guard if your Vanguard Kashu Kitsumitsu in its card name was stand by your card's ability this turn, it gets plus 10k power. If only that was an auto, because then that would at most get 20. Again, that wouldn't be that bad, but I guess it makes sense because this would just be just too good. Either way, very solid skill though, decently powered. I think it's fine, and it searches for the same type, right? So Uchi Katana, so it's this one. Okay, fair enough. So, oh, this deck has the ability to restand multiple rear guards. Great. All around, very solid card. I think its skill is great, so yeah, cool. 4 for this deck. Then we have Izumi no Kami Kanasada Kiwame. Again, I say butchering the hell of these names. I think this one looks cool though, just in all regards. Grade 2 so 5k shield, 10k base, continues rear guard during your turn. If you have a grade 1 or less rear guard on the same column as it, gets plus 5k power. That is the easiest way to get 5k I've ever seen in my entire life, outside of grand ropes from like DPV skill being literally, if you're at grade 3, get 5k. You just get benefited for playing the game, not even just for playing the specific deck. And then auto from rear guard circle when you're grade 3 or greater Vanguard, either Kashu Kiyomitsu or Mutsu no Kame Yoshiyuki. That's the one that retires. I remember because I remember it has a M at the start of his name, and his card name attacks. Put this unit to bottom, draw a card, choose your Vanguard, gives 5k for the turn, or for the battle. All around, pretty solid. Gives a restand either 5k, gives just a unit that wants numbers 5k, and you get a draw out of it as well. All around, pretty solid. I like his skill a lot. Just nice to have. Too bad it doesn't work anywhere on the board, but hey, it's still pretty solid. So easy 4 for me in either of those 2 decks. Then we have Horikawa Kunihiro Kiwame. Why is with all of them having Kiwame in their card name? Great on boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto was placed on rear guard circle. If you have a Vanguard, that's great through a Garrett Counter Boss 1 in your deck, or for up to 1 unit card with this thing in its name. I'm not even going to bother attempting to say that again. Call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck, and then auto rear guard Shiken Hisatsu active if you have 3 more damage zone cards. When your other rear guard is placed in the same column as this unit, other than from your hand. If you have a Vanguard, either Kashu Kiyomitsu or Mutsu on Kami Yoshiyuki in this card name, that placed unit gets with 5k power for the turn. All around solid, like, not a hard once per turn, gives the unit 5k, and again, it just searches for a grade 2, which benefits off of just having this in the same column as it, and his art just looks pretty good as well, because I like how the leaves look like they're kind of just slowing in the background, especially with, like, this kind of pattern, even though all of them have that pattern. This one, oh, actually, that is a unique pattern, interesting. And his, like, just cloak, I mean, not cloak, the, scarf just looks really cool, so easy 4 for me. This deck may have a lot of CB problems, but that's a problem I'm willing to have cards that look cool as hell, so take that as you will. Then we have QB Fox. Oh my god, he actually does have a nine-tailed fox on him. I said that as a joke because of his face, and he reminds me of a character that has a card called QB Fox. I did not realize he actually had a nine-tailed fox on his shoulder, or something that resembles a nine-tailed fox. Nagi Sune Kiwame. Again with the Kiwamis. Grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear guard on this unit is when boosted by Token Dainchi Wakizashi until end of battle, this unit gets with 5k power. Again, I say, I feel like I'm offending an entire nation just by talking. 15k base, nice, cool, plus an 8k booster, 23k. That's all I can say about it. Cool, nice. Any deck that has a lot of those type of boosters, easy 3 of. Then we have Kiko, Sadu, Mune, Kiwame, great to 5k shield, 10k bits. This just feels like the Token Rainbow version of Chaos, aka Egomaniac that has the glasses. Literally, he's like the tech genius, like, I am better than everyone. He's like Shono Shinonome, except maybe not gay for Shion and maybe not entirely a psychopath. Who knows? Anyways, auto rear gun this unit, when boosted by a token Daishi Wakazashi until end of battle, you may have this unit plus 10k power, and if you do, this unit does stand during your next stand phase. Why? Like, we have freebie 20 over, where is he? We have freebie 20 over here. Why do you gotta be specifically boosted by 1 unit, and then you at the same time cannot be allowed to stand if you willingly choose to use that skill? That feels like such a, like, I know the deck can multi-attack, but that feels like such a minus to me. I don't know, it's not a bad card, so run it if you want to, but I ain't running this, but I guess it's a solid 2, I guess, just cause. Still, though, I prefer this boy far more than I prefer this boy. This one, I mean. And now we move on to this one. Namazawa Toshiro Kiwami. At what point can I just stop? Grade 1 boost 5k shield, aka base auto rear gun, boost a token Daishi Uchi Katana. Okay, so the Wakaishis are the grade 1s, if this proves my point. Yeah, okay, so the Waikai Zashis are grade 1s, and then the Uchi Katanas are the grade 2s. Soul Blast 2, or grade 2 or higher. Put a card from your drop zone into your damage zone. If you did, choose a card from your damage zone, heal it. My only logical reason of this is a Soul Blast 2 to do the most convoluted version of countercharging I've ever seen. I don't know why they gave that skill to this thing. It could have just been Soul Blast 2 to countercharge 1. I guess they're planning on, like, printing a card that's, like, similar to all of the, like, restrictive countercharges that are, like, if you haven't countercharged this turn, countercharge 1. But, sure. Screw it. Why not? I guess it's not a bad card. I just feel like this was an unnecessary way to go around countercharging unless they actively make that a card. So 3 of, I guess. Then we have Honbami Toshiro Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard this unit boost a token Daishi Uchi Katana unit until the battle this unit gets 5k power. Cool, 13k booster. I'm starting to see where this one wants his points from, because 20k plus 13, that's an easy 33, plus Persona Right, 43. Or you could just boost it with this one. Either way, they both work really well with each other, so 3 of, I guess, or 4 of, just because it's a free booster. But honestly, this one's more priority, because free CB, I guess, or free, well, free-ish CB. Then we have Kosetsu Samoji Kiwami. Yeah, remember when I said earlier this boy looked like this? He was superior to you? Yeah, this one really looks like he's superior to you. Token Daishi Tachi, that's a new one. Act rear guard once per turn, Soul Blast 2, search your deck or search your drop zone, and for 1 card with Samanoji and its other card name, then Kosetsu Samanoji Kiwame, call to rear guard until end of turn, it gets plus 5k power. This unit gets plus 5k power. Cool, so it can pretty much call an entire line and give itself 5k power. I guess that's fine. Like, it's not bad, but between the 2 cards we've seen with double Soul Blast cost, this one is cooler, because at least it has a nice way to get around CC problems. This just gets a rear guard and gives it 5k. Again, not bad, but I mean, I bias towards this one, so 2 of 3 of, I guess. And then we have Sayo Samanonje Kawame, and we're saying why this is here, and I'm saying 2 cards of Soul Blast. That's not a good sign. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Okay, the umbrella is making me want to do the yo joke all over again. If only you guys could see me. Auto rear guard, when your drive checker was a trigger unit, Soul Blast 1, choose an opponent's rear guard in back row and kill it. Oh, we're doing the retire line next, I'm guessing, because we have thing that kills rear gun. I'm pretty sure it was a Tanto line. I don't remember exactly, but that's just how it seems to me. Either way, it's not a horrible skill. It kills rear guards by seeing triggers, so it's not the worst. I just feel like it could be better, especially when it might be revived constantly by this thing, which is kind of a heftier cost, but take that as you will. So possible 2 of, 3 of, depending on if you choose to run this thing or not. Then we have Salzo Samanoji Kiwame, grade 1, 2 units of 5k shield, 10k base. Okay, as unfitting as, in my opinion, this card looks compared to, like, everything else here, because they all have, like, their own different color themes, and this thing's just all pink. That is a beautiful, like, hair color, like, design-wise, it's just beautiful. I'll give it that. Grade 2 of 5k shield, 10k base. Auto is pistol rear guard circle, counter blast 2. That's a hefty cost for a search. Look at top 7. Reveal up to 2 cards with Samanoji and their card names from one of them, or add them to your hand and shuffle your deck, and if you reveal one of those cards, countercharge 1. That is the worst search skill I've ever seen, because you have to CB 1 at the very least to look at top 7. Now, yeah, there are other cards such as like the cleaning girls from Brantgate that like you could still whiff their search and you don't get a CC out of it. But normally when it's top 7, like so for example Burn Rise, you get a benefit out of it, like it's this counter charge, or the one from Nirvana does better because it sets up the drop zone and gets you hand cards for the cost of only a Soul Blast. And while yes, Soul is obviously a hefty resource here, they could have just made it a single CB and just not giving you the counter charge option. But I guess F that, let's just make it 2 CB, and if you don't get anything, then you just CB just a CB. So again, it's not a horrible grade 2. I just feel like its skill is much more expensive than it needs to be. But cool. Take that as you will. 4 of, I guess. Like if you see 2 from it, it's worth it. But if you see 1, it's kind of like So yeah. And now let's wrap up with the last regulars of the day. First up, we have Goku Tai Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle. If you have Vanguard, this grade 3 or greater, count plus 1, 2. Sorry, count plus 1, and look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 cards from among them, put them back to the top of the deck, and then you want to put them to best to bottom. So we have Hexa Orb support at its finest going into Token Rambu. Cool. Though it does kind of fit for the Loretta land that stacks the deck, so I guess it's not the worst. So, I don't know, 2 of 3 attack in that deck, or just a free 2 of 3 attack in any deck, because again, top 2 stack. Then we have honestly my favorite looking card so far, and that would be Imo no Tsurugi Kiwame. Great on boost 5k shield, 8k base, on a rearguard when it boosts anything, soul boss 1, choose one of your vanguards, it gets plus 5k for the turn. Then if you chose a unit with Iwa Toshi in its card name, this unit gets plus 5k power as well. So I'm pretty solid, can give a possible total of 10k, which is nice. And then auto rearguard, so you can Hiatsu, the standard 3 or more damage zone thing. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted, retire to charge 1. Alright, pretty solid, not costing soul or counterblast, or well, it wouldn't make sense to cost counterblast or countercharge, but it doesn't make you cost soul or discards to get a countercharge, only simple retire, which is nice, and not to mention the fact that it's a free 5k, just by simple soul blast to any unit you want, or to be more than any vanguard you want. If it was an Iwatoshi, he also gets plus 5k. Alright, very solid skill, and I do like the art, so I'm gonna give it a 4 of in my book. Then we have Kasen Kasinada Kiwame Sento. Grade 3 Driver 13k base, continues Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. It's treated as Kasen Kasinada Kiwame. Auto Vanguard. If you persona this turn, you may play this cost by counterblasting 1 instead. And then when it swings, put a hand card into with the same card name as this unit from your rearguard or hand into the soul, and it gets plus 10k to drive for the turn. Alright. Pretty powerful skill. It's 23k with an extra drive, so that's nice. And if you're right, it's 33k with a drive. And then it contains Vanguard during the battle of this unit attack. If you have 2 or more grade 3 cards with cost and custom out on their card names from your soul, when your opponent call cards from their normal call cards from your guard circle, them call 3 once at a time. Basically flag break. Cool. Gets drives, gets numbers. Sadly, this is not the one that retired like I thought it was, but I mean, to be fair though, it does basically act as a pseudo flagbrick, so I think it goes pretty great, and it just has some nice firepower behind it, so cool. Nice way to build your deck around it. Then we have obvious support for it, Shoku Dai Kiri Mitsudanai Kawame. I butchered all of that. Auto rearguard when this unit attacks. If your Vanguard is 23,000 power greater, this includes 5k power ton of turn. Pretty sure that ability will proc off after this one goes off, so fair enough. And then auto rearguard when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard Kasanada and its card name attacks. If that unit has 33,000 power or greater, soul boss won't stand this unit. Cool. Gains numbers from the... Oh, wait, he has to attack for that skill. Either way, though, pretty solid. Gains numbers just from this thing simply being 10k higher than its normal base power, and not to mention the fact that it can straight up just stand itself if your Constant Vanguard just swings. So, pretty great. All-around solid skill. Works for the deck. 4 of. And then we have the over trigger, which is Shichi Senke. I butchered all of that, and I'm not even going to try again. Grade 0 boost 50k shield, 5k power. Additional effect, perform one of the following. Choose one of your vanguards against a crit or a drive for the turn. Crit and a drive for the turn. Choose one of your rearguards on the turn. This unit performs drive checks, and it gets a critical. So, technically speaking, if you pick a restanding vanguard, unless you pick the one from before, then this kind of guarantees what, like 4 drives? While this one over here gets you at least like... Well, then for the restanding vanguard, this one... The one that like restands twice, technically speaking, if you pull this one on the second drive check, then you could keep your drive checks all around. Intriguing turn of events. Either way, very solid. Definitely gives pressure to either unit you give that effect to, and you get drive checks out of it either way. So I think this is kind of the overtrigger to go for. I don't remember what the other one is. I think it's like plus 10 or kill unit, but I think I'm going to go with this one just for the pressure.
Then we have our Graham Grace and Fav cards. First up, we have Knight of Soaring Refinement Daifen. Grade 2 set 5k shield, 9k base, auto rear guard. When you grade 3 or greater unit, the same combat as attacks. If you have Vanguard with Graham Grace and card name, the attacking unit gets plus 5k power tone to battle. Okay, so you get benefits from having Graham Grace actually swing first. So that's pretty nice, you know, making the Vanguard go first and have at least 18k. That's nice. And then auto farm a rear guard circle. When this unit attacks, if you have Vanguard, Graham Grace, and card name, and your units in the center column are attacked 2 or more times, counterbalance when this unit plus 15k power tone to battle. All around, pretty solid. You never want this thing to attack first, but that's fine, because the Vanguard can swing a lot, and then the rear guard can swing, and then this thing can swing for numbers, or your Vanguard just swings first, and this thing's in back center. And again, that's the thing I love about it, is the fact that, oh no, when you're a grade 3 unit, okay, so already it doesn't actually have to be in the back center for it. It's pretty solid, because it can technically work from anywhere on the board. So, solid card, really nice support for it, easy, cool 4 of. Then we have Purgatory Baron Herodos. Grade 3 Jumper 13k base. Okay, anyone just feel like they're looking at a card from like Magic World for Future Card Buddy Fight, like that's one step away from making the Osmodice ban? Anyways, auto rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. If you have Vanguard 5 new on its card name, put this unit to soul. Choose one of your rear guard to murder it. Cool. Free soul charge. That can also get you a grade 3 to soul before 5 renewal swings. That can also trigger 5 renewal skill to get you a soul in a drop. Cool, and then auto soul at the beginning of your ride phase. If you have Vanguard 5 renewal card name, bind this card and discard one, activate Persona Ride. Until end of turn, you cannot Persona Ride with other effects, and you cannot ride. So you Persona Ride, you get 5 on your skill off. So now you have a 33 double critical swinging Vanguard unless 5 on your skill restricts you from doing a skill unless if you did Persona Ride, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Cool, Fabrino got a whole lot scarier in 5 seconds, all with a boost of 1 card. 4 there is no arguments I can make against that. Then we have a card for Orphis, Prolarx's Dragon, grade 2 set 5k shield, 10k base, on plus 1 Vanguard circle. If you have Vanguard Orphis and its card name, Soul Boss 1, choose a world card with a different card name from the cards in your order zone from your drop zone, and put it to your order zone. Cool, so Soul Boss 1 get a free world, and then auto is put into your drop zone from rear guard or hand during your battle phase. If your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, you may draw a card. Where were you when I needed you? Being able just to retire itself from Orphis multi-attack and then just refreshing the draw that you lose from Orphis Regis, because sometimes that screws me over. All around, very solid card. Too bad it's not a cardinal, otherwise I would have pulled it immediately. Now, since it's not a cardinal, I kind of just have to wait it out and pray to God that we get something else. But either way, a very solid card, works really well for Orphis support. I just think it's great, so Fora. And that's it for this week's reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the follow Twitch, and I'll see you all on this one to stand up your Vanguards.